Hello. This week, you're going to take a very close look at literacy development. And literacy is really an important topic for you to know, especially certain terms. Literacy is very heavily represented on the early childhood OSAT, as well as the elementary OSAT. So bear in mind, you need to know these terms. When we're talking about early literacy, it's all about print carrying a message and that message being meaningful. When you're talking about pre-reading skills, you're talking about things such as directionality. We read from the top of the page to the bottom of the page. We read from the left-hand side of the page to the right-hand side of the page, and we write the same way. But those are all things that young children have to learn. They're not born knowing that. So when we talk about early literacy, we're just talking about those really obvious things that sometimes we overlook, like directionality. The other thing to know is the term alliteration. That's where you have two or more words that start with the same sound, and they're used over and over and over. Alliteration. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. That is a good example of alliteration, where you have that P sound repeated over and over and over. Then we come to the important letters. When you're talking about 4-year-olds, the important letters are the letters in their name. I know we're really set on teaching them the entire alphabet these days, but to them, the letters in their name are important and the rest not so much. And the best things you can do with them is name activities, so that they learn how to recognize and write their own name and the letters in their name. So when we talk about early literacy, I used to make books with cereal box fronts, just cut them out, put a hole punch through them, and I used to just tie them together with yarn. But that's a great way to get environmental print, and children recognize words like Cocoa Puffs, Cheerios, Trix, things they eat all the time. Environmental print is a great way to foster early literacy. I want you to be familiar with the term writing, because you're apt to see it. Writing is a mixture of writing and drawing. You see that in 3s and 4s and 5s, and lots of times in first grade as well. Like for instance, in this picture here, you see the child wrote bat. It's a backwards B, but that's perfectly fine. Children will reverse their letters all the way through 2nd grade, and that's normal. Now, after 2nd grade, you do want to draw some people's attention to it if they do that, because it can be a sign of some issues. But until 2nd grade, it's not anything to be concerned about. Invented spelling, very important to allow children to invent their spelling. For instance, you'll see the consonants, beginning consonant and ending consonant for bat. The vowel's not in there yet. But when children use invented spelling, it is a process. You'll start out with just one consonant. For instance, oftentimes if a child that's just starting to write is doing a picture of a bat, they'll have a B on there, and that B means bat. As the child progresses in their writing skills, you'll see the BT, like this one's already progressed. And it's really not until they get to 1st grade that they're paying attention to those vowels in the center of those consonant, vowel, consonant words. And that's when you have some formal writing. But invented spelling is an important piece in acquisition of literacy. Here are some words that you've got to know, and you got to know exactly what they mean. When we're talking about onset, we're just talking about the beginning sounds in words. That's all that is. Rhyme, R-I-M-E, is different from rhyme, R-H-Y-M-E. The R-I-M-E is the word families. Say, for instance, you've got the bed, led, fed, read. The ED portion of that is the rhyme. It's the vowel consonant pair. The beginning changes, and we do that a lot when we teach children word families. We'll just give them different beginnings, have them make all these different words. That is a rhyme activity, R-I-M-E. The R-H-Y-M-E means that it has the same ending sound, but it may not be spelled the same. So when you're thinking about a word that maybe rhymes with another word in a poem, you're not necessarily going to have the same spelling at the end, but it's going to have basically the same sound. Always remember that. Rhyme, R-I-M-E, has to have the same spelling. Word walls, I highly recommend them. I like the way they put these together here with the sticks for the tall letters going up and the sticks for the letters that hang down going down. This is a hint to children as to what the word is, because I did this in my own classroom. They were different colors, and it really gave children an idea of what those words are. They use the colors and the sticks going different ways to identify. Lots and lots of different activities on here for you to go through. I'm not going to read it to you. There's a story writing. I used this Carl's Sleepy Afternoon when I talked about oral language. Well, you can use picture books for literacy as well by giving children a piece of paper and having them write something that happens on each page. You know, in pre-K, you have them tell. That's oral language. In first grade, you have them write something. By the time they get to second or third grade, they're not just writing a sentence, have them write a paragraph. So those Carl books go a long way. Another great activity for literacy would be Reader's Theater, where you give children a script and they actually act out and also read the script as part of a presentation of a book. And I'll let you read this on your own. You don't need me to read that to you. Let me go ahead and get out of that. So let me just make sure that we're on the same page. Okay, there we go. This week, you're going to read Bredicamp 425 to 450 and do content review number 3 in assignments by 226. I hope you have a wonderful week, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll set up a Zoom. Bye-bye.